Hey, what's up guys? This is part one of the Fokker DR-1 build, or the Red Baron got in the background there. I decided for this build I'm going to go ahead and build a new one for myself. I've been flying that one now for about 6-7 months, and it's got a bunch of abuse in it from camping, taking it camping, flying it around. So I decided to go ahead and build a new one. I'm going to take the electronics out of that one and go ahead and put it in this one. Alright, to get started, this is part one. I'm going to do the wings, the main wings. Just to give you an idea, I already cut out the bottom wing. As you can see, here's where this is the flap that folds under the bottom of the wing. So I went ahead and did the bottom already. Here's going to be your center, and they're all three basically built the same way, but I'm going to go ahead and start with the top wing, the main wing. Now for the main wing and the center wing, you're going to need to join two pieces of foam board together like I got here. So I went ahead and ran a piece of tape across them. Now I'm going to go ahead and hot glue them. And this is the underside of the wing, so it don't matter. It doesn't look all that pretty, guys. Make sure it's nice and flat. Just let that set up for a second. Now the side with the tape on it, that's going to be the top of the wing. So I want this ugly glue to be on the underside of the wing. Alright, now I went ahead and cut the main wing off the plans. So here's your main wing, and then here's your flap that's going to fold underneath. I went ahead and cut it off the plans, went ahead and drew two lines off the center. Now I'll just line those right up with where we join the two pieces together. Make sure it's nice and straight. And like I said, guys, I'm gonna just build the one main wing for you. The other two are done the exact same way. This is actually the harder wing of the three. Sure, I can tape this down. Make sure your plans are nice and flat. Get a couple more on here. Alright, now here you see on the back of the wing I got scallops. I usually like to start with the scallops first. I'll just take a razor knife. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the whole build process on this plane. I'll even do a video for paint. Again, for the scallops, I like to use the X-Acto knife, just so you can make these tight little radiuses. I'm just cutting on the top of a carpet. Makes cutting real easy. So again, go ahead and start by cutting out your scallops. If you don't want scallops, that's up to you, but they look a lot better on the plane. Again, I'm using an X-Acto knife. It works best on this tight radiuses. Alright. Now I'm going to go ahead and score for the flap that folds under, which is this line here. There's actually 4 score lines, 1 for the flap and 3 for the airfoil shape. So I'm going to go ahead and score all 4 of those. You want to make sure you're right on the line, guys. I'm just scoring down through the first layer of paper on the foam board. So there's the score line for the flap. And then these are for your airfoils, these 3. I went up and picked up a yard stick ruler here. Thing works awesome. So again, I just scored all 4 of those lines. That's for the flap and the airfoil. Anywhere where your paper comes up, just go ahead and tape it back down. Now I'll go ahead and cut out around the flap and the main wing and the rest of the aileron here. So let's go ahead and do that. Now on the back where I cut out the scallops, I'm just going to go ahead and lay my ruler across here. And I'll just straight cut the back end of the scallops. Now I'll take my X-Acto knife and I'll finish up the rest of these all on the ends here. And this is just straight cut, you guys. Same thing on the back of these scallops. Just taking straight cut it. Come back and finish off these ends. I just grabbed a little ruler for these two end cuts. I'm just cutting out around the main wing here, guys. Finish off this back cut on the flap. That should be it. I always keep my plans, put them off to the side, don't throw anything out. Chances are you could use this stuff later, like I'm going to need the ailerons off here to mark them on mine. Go ahead and pop this out here. Missed here. There we go. Now we got our two pieces that we glued together. So now I got my main wing cut out. You can see where we scored the 4 lines. One for the flap, these 3 for the airfoil. Loosen this out of the way. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and cut out my ailerons. And what I usually do is just cut the aileron right off the plan. Like that. That way we can use this as a template to V-notch out for our aileron hinges. Alright, so this is the underside of the underside of the wing where we got our score lines. That's also where we're going to want to cut a hinge line in for our aileron. Like I said, I just took and cut this right off the plan. Go ahead and make some marks here. Go ahead and flip it over and just do the same thing on the other side. just use my ruler to connect the dots. Here we're creating the hinges for our ailerons. Now I'll go ahead and hinge that out after I create my airfoil. Just give me an idea. So now I want to crack these lines on the airfoil. And for the flap, you guys can always run your knife back through these. That way they'll break apart a little easier. Especially where the hot glue is, you want to cut down through it. Just make sure you don't cut all the way through. Cut that one. Again, I'm just scoring down through the lines here. There, so now we got our 3 airfoil lines, and then our line for our flap for underneath the wing. Now I'm going to go ahead and V-notch these out. So I already went ahead and scored them, broke them apart. Now I'm going to V-notch to get this flap to fold under the wing. And for that, for the flap, you're going to want to take out quite a bit of foam, or cut a pretty deep V-notch into it, like I'm doing here. Going about a 1/4 inch away from the score line. Just like that. I'm gonna go ahead and do that on both sides of that score line we made for the flap here. Go ahead and take another 1/4 inch V-notch. Make sure you guys don't cut down through both layers. You're just taking off the bottom layer of foam here. So that'll be for our flap to fold under the wing here. Now I'm just going to go ahead and V-notch those 3 score lines for the airfoil, which is just like a 1/16 I want to take out of each one. Go ahead and run back down it. And this is the V-notch that I'm talking about on the plans. Just cutting a V-notch out of all 3 score lines. Alright. Now you can see when you fold this under, you get your airfoil shape. Again, there's the top of my wing there. Airfoil on the top. 3 score lines with a V-notch for your airfoil. And then I V-notched out the bottom. Just like so, you guys. Alright, now on the plans, here's my wing spar that was on the main wing. See, I got a wing spar on there that we got to cut out of a piece of foam. So I'll just take the 2 I just used. Maybe I'll use that piece. Now here I just want to cut my wing spar out of a separate piece of foam. I'm just going to tape it on this little extra piece of foam I had. And here it is. My wing spar is 5/16. Get our ruler up here. You want to make sure your wing spars are all the same height, 5/16. So just make sure you cut them all nice and straight. Now there's my wing spar I just cut out, and it's 5/16 height. I'll go ahead and cut out for my aileron hinges once I put my wing spar in and create the wing. Here I'm just going to eyeball in place where this goes. It goes just behind the last score line for to create your airfoil. Tells you on the plans where to place it, which is right there. So I'll go ahead and hot glue this on. Make sure you put it on there nice and straight, you guys. Make sure your wing is nice and flat. That's our wing spar placement. Now you can see the flap will fold under the bottom of the wing and connect with your wing spar in the end there. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and I usually take where I V-notched it for the 3 airfoil lines. I'll take and fill them with a little hot glue, then form the wing. So I'll just take a little bit of hot glue, stick them down each one. And then form the wing like how I want it. Go ahead and put it nice and flat. So I just filled in the 3 score lines with a little bit of hot glue for our airfoil shape. Let that set up for a second. Now we can go ahead and hit the top of the wing spar and hit the crease for the flap on the bottom. Let's go ahead and do that. It don't take a ton of glue, guys, as long as you get it on there. Less glue the better. And lay it back down nice and flat. I really want to let this glue set up. It's important that your wing be nice and straight. Push down wherever the wing spar is. So there we got our main airfoil shape. There's our wing spar in the center of the wing. Now for any of these little joints here, you can always trim some of this off to make it look nicer. You can just take your knife like so. Really gives it that finished look. Just like that, you guys. Alright, now I'll go ahead and cut out for these ailerons. All I do is straight cut down through here. Straight cut it on the very end, then just score and V-notch. I'm just scoring through half. Just like that. I want to take and trim off on the inside about a 1/16 just so nothing rubs. Let me use my X-Acto knife in here.